Hello! Oh, hello, I'm Gemma and this is Non-Fic Books and this is my very enthusiastic dog. Sit. Good lad. Right. Hello, I'm Gemma and this is Non-Fic Books and I'm going to try and get some non-fiction videos filmed, even though it is night, so that's why I'm using all sorts of artificial light. And if you hear snuffling noises, it'll either be the dog or the baby, because I got one wiggling and one sitting here yawning at me. So fingers crossed, I'll actually be able to get some videos done. The first book I read for Non-Fiction November was Lucy Mangan's Bookworm, a memoir of childhood reading. Lucy Mangan is a columnist and journalist, I believe, for The Guardian. I hadn't read any of her stuff before picking this up and I just had some book tokens and it's so pretty. If you can see, Bookworm's actually foiled. The details are gorgeous all around this book. And it's all about the books that she read as a child, and I'm really excited because at the moment I have two Sproggos that over the years I will get to introduce to all sorts of books, and that's really exciting. So this appealed, and it basically, as it says, it's a memoir of childhood reading. It starts off with her youngest years reading, things like Where the Wild Things Are, Mog, all of that sort of stuff, The Tiger That Came for Tea. Moving through the different years into the Enid Blyton years, which I absolutely loved because those are books that I have very strong memories about, and then going into sort of the pre-teen years, which is where I sort of diverged from her a bit because she was reading things like Sweet Valley High, which I remember the craze for it, but it wasn't the sort of thing I was reading at that point. So I think this book will be the right sort of book for someone sort of Lucy Mangan and my sort of age. Early to mid 30s, maybe up to 40s or so. Too much younger, and I'm not 100% sure how many of these references will really, you might know of the books, but I don't know how many of them, especially as they get older and slightly less full-time classic. I think they would date you to having a childhood in the 90s, late 80s and 90s, that sort of time. I really liked her writing style, I liked her sense of humour, I liked the relationship she has with her family and the way she discusses them and their slightly quirky natures, but I could see that this would be quite a Marmite book, and I think a lot of her writing would probably be like that. So I think you should, if you're interested in doing this, maybe have a Google, see if you can see any of her articles before and see if you like her journalist stuff. And I liked it so much that I picked up 3 of her other books. I immediately read The Reluctant Bride, One Woman's Journey Kicking and Screaming Down the Aisle, because I thought that would be really interesting. I am someone who is married and enjoys being married but was not fussed about having a wedding, and sort of ended up having a small wedding for family members and things. It turned out to be lovely, but that's why this appealed particularly, because I've never been a big white wedding sort of person, and neither she, and looking at the way her and her now husband's relationship was really interesting. It's a bit different. As someone who also has a slightly different relationship, I really enjoyed this and I just thought it was great. I loved her sense of humour. The one I'm currently reading of hers is My Family and Other Disasters. This is a selection of her columns, so it's a bit different. It's more one that I'm dipping in and out of, rather than the other 3 books that I've got here are sort of actual full books rather than articles. But I like her sense of humour, I like her writing, and I'm enjoying this, even if it is a little bit more disparate because of the nature of the beast. This is the one I haven't yet read, which is Hopscotch and Handbags, The Truth About Being a Girl. I presume this is probably something along the lines of How to Be a Girl. Brilliantly funny guide as a romp through all things female. We'll see. This is the one I have yet to read, because I think I have been working backwards through her books. But I really enjoyed Bookworm. I like that near the back she has the breakdown of which books she mentions at different time periods. So it's like Wonderland, so it's things like Alice in Wonderland, The Secret Garden, The E. Nesbits, moving on to later The Phantom Tollbooth, Goodnight Mr. Tom, Just William, and then what are some of the later books? There's The Judy Blooms, I can turn the page, and the last few is going up to the final sort of things like Twilight, Geek Girls, and I Catch the Castle and things like that. I really enjoyed this. I think if you are of a similar sort of age, if this is the sort of thing you will think you will enjoy. I think it's worthwhile picking up if you like Lucy Mangan's writing style. I would love to know what you've been reading for non-fiction November. Please leave it down below. Even though it's almost the end of November, there'll probably be quite a few videos from me coming out this week because they're both behaving right now. So I'm going to quickly see if I can film a few, because I haven't been able to film, but I have been reading and listening to some audiobooks. So hopefully you'll see a few more videos from me and leave me about what you've been reading recently. See you in a video soon. Bye!